It's a hot one today, so hopefully I can get through this pretty quickly. Early on in my trading career, I had a pretty big problem. I get really excited and long the tops and freak out and sell the bottoms. These experiences and some research led me to start trading like a robot and ignore my emotions entirely. This was both a good thing and a bad thing. In this video, I'll show you a tool you can rely on instead of your own emotions and how to utilize those same infallible emotions in other traders to your advantage. If you're new here, I'm Privacy Smurf, the mind behind Zinalytics Trading. I focus on creating, practicing, and teaching systematic trading approaches. I strive to break down complex topics into simpler objective concepts, empowering you to use those building blocks to create less biased and comprehensive trading strategies for your own success. So how can you bring some rationality to the markets? I use the Fear and Greed Index. Essentially, the index represents a poll outcome, showing the ratio of small-time amateur traders who are bullish or bearish. History shows us that these traders, just like the old me, were incorrect about the future at key market turning points. On higher time frames, it can be very profitable to wait for extreme measurements on the index and then look for signs of a reversal. Let's take a look at where things are today. Only the S&P chart is notable this week. We can go through the others relatively quickly because we're mostly concerned with extreme readings. Overall this week, the US dollar index is up, Bitcoin, gold, and 30-year bond contracts are down. All of them still have majority bullish sentiment except for Bitcoin. Lately, I've been speculating that the $64,000 level on Bitcoin would be the dividing line between majority bullish and bearish sentiment. That held true. 2 weeks ago, we closed above that level. Last week, we opened and remained below it, and you can see the sentiment shift. Moving on, sentiment on the S&P has declined from the greed zone from the past 2 weeks. Typically, this is accompanied by a market retracement. This is when I would use technical analysis to formulate a plan of how to capitalize on the insights that sentiment can provide. Counter-trend trade signals that I use have plotted bearish targets on both the daily and the weekly time frame. Daily time frame targets around 53.75 and 52.80, with weekly time frame signals around 52.70 and 50.80. One key element to these two signals is the confluence of targets around 52.70 to 52.80 level. If prices do start to fall, I would expect this to be a level of support. The conditions that usually appear around market tops was the focus of the last sentiment video. This week, it's on the bearish strategies that are actively in play. Personally, I've taken profits on trades that were open since May and have trailing stops in place for the remainder of their positions in case the market continues to go up. Just to be clear, I'm not calling for the end of this market. Let's contextualize the initial daily time frame targets within the context of the bull market. As you can see on the chart, the price target sits just around a level that's been broken. With this initial price target, we may just be testing a prior level for support before resuming the uptrend. Also, we've been here before. Last bull market, there was a sentiment and weekly bearish trade that was invalidated as prices went up before the eventual peak at the end of the year. Right now, we have a pretty similar picture as you can see, especially if we compare the RSI. If you've been with me over the years, you'll know this isn't the first time we've seen these market topping setups, and it probably won't be the last. It's a really difficult time to operate in because everything inside you is screaming to be bullish, and we're all hoping for extra profits. These are the most important moments to have clearly defined systems and metrics to look back on and trust when our emotions want to lead us astray. Are our systems always right? No. But at least you can understand why a decision was made and how to adjust and improve based on specific data points and trends. If you haven't yet, join the Discord. You can see the daily updated sentiment metrics. We can talk shop on how to improve your strategies, or you can hit me up with just any general question you've got. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.